shredder. You can see this is a big guy at 7 gallons. And we have it today on 5 easy payments with reduced shipping and handling. Oh, okay, you're just going to throw the credit card in there.
Throw right in there. Man, my wife's been wanting to do that for me for a long time now.
Oh, I was thinking
throw
the
credit cards in
I know my husband would. All right, so let's talk about why a shredder. Why do we even need one?
This is that time of year to get rid of all of that junk we have lying around the house. And think of a shredder as kind of like antivirus for your real world.
Okay.
We don't go surfing online on our computers without having some kind of antivirus protection. And if you have any of this information laying around on pieces of paper, most of us do this, Gabrielle. We just simply tear the piece of paper in half for some reason because we think this is going to do something. It doesn't. This does not protect our Social Security number. It doesn't protect the medical information. It doesn't, protect your tax forms, your bank statements, credit card statements, any of that stuff. Tearing it in half and throwing it in the trash is not the way to protect your data. With a micro cut shredder like this is going to take an individual piece of paper, a regular size piece of paper, and obliterate it into over 1,800 different pieces.
So that's what this is, a micro cut.
Micro cut,
So let's talk about what the difference between the cuts are, because why is micro cut even important?
Well, the more pieces you get it into, the harder it is to put back together. You kind of look at right here, these 3 containers. This is kind of the evolution of what we've seen with shredders out there. So back in the 70s and 80s, when shredders were first becoming popular in people's homes, this is what we had called strip cut. Now, strip cut was pretty good because it took a piece of paper and it cut it, but you could still get Social Security numbers. You could still get the medical information off of there. A lot of shredders nowadays are still what's called cross-cut, and that was the next step, basically cutting in opposite directions here and getting into some smaller pieces. But you can see here, even with the cross-cut, you'd still be able to get some of that information. What Royal does, a company that's been around over 100 years, they do micro-cut. So this is that confetti. So if the Eagles were to win the Super Bowl this year, this is your confetti maker right here.
But they won't, so.
Yeah, they probably won't, but I hope they do. It'd be nice if they did.
Teasing,
if the Saints do or the Patriots do, whatever. This is what really turns it into confetti. And once you take those pieces of paper and you put them out by the curb, a lot of townships and a lot of municipalities say, hey, if it's at the curb, anybody can get it. And that's what a lot of the thieves do. They drive around, they grab it, they dig through the trash, and they can find your information. If you have that important information blasted into a micro cut, that's the way to protect it, to make sure the bad guys can't see it.
They're just driving around with trash.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they're just driving around with their own confetti that you made for them there.
Well, we do have this available in your choice of colors. So a nice addition to any home and home office. We have the black up on the table. Down in front, we have red. This is your green, copper, and silver. 5 easy payments of $25.99. That's less than $1 a day. And this is really kind of your high-end paper shredder. And you should be destroying and shredding. And I've seen companies now, like my local bank had like a shred day.
Yes.
Haul your paper and all your junk to
Sometimes
us.
do that, yes.
And so it's like, okay, that's a great service, but it's still a hassle.
If you're available that one day, you want to wait in line for an hour or two to do it, that's not a bad idea. But there's so much information we don't even think about. You get those offers for the free checks. How often does that happen from your credit card company or from your bank, where you get the canceled check in the mail? Well, guess what? If you have that canceled check, that still has your account number, plus it has the routing number for the bank. That's not the kind of information you want to just have sitting at your curb or throwing away in a regular trash can. When you micro shred it, it blasts right through. Another category, how about those hotel keys or credit cards that you have? Well, if you get the newer credit card, it may have the updated expiration date, but it still has the same number on it. Or the hotel key, which has your personal information on there as well. This is a way to blast through all of that. So again, micro-cutting credit cards.
Micro-cut the credit card.
Yeah, cuts the credit card, also blasts right through staples. Any piece of information that you have laying around the house that you want to get rid of, this is a great way to do it with the 12-cut shredder.
About how many sheets can it handle in one go?
That's why they call it the 1205. The 1205 stands for 12. So you can put the 12 pieces of paper at a time.
So it's not just one by one by one.
No, so here, I can actually take a stack here and blast these through here. So here, this is about 5 or 6 just to show you here, but it blasts through all of them. So up to 12, and there you can see the cut going right there through the window.
And, that's just saving you time, right? I mean, this is something that, I'm not saying, yay, I get to shred today, but that way it makes the job easier and faster. And you're micro-cutting. Maybe you currently have a shredder. Is it just this puzzle piece that the identity thieves can put back together? you don't want to make it easy for them.
Even the crosscut, as you can see here, the crosscut, actually a couple pieces sticking here to the window, you can see. But even that crosscut, that still leaves some space there for you to see a phone number, a medical information number, maybe whatever script you're going through, and you may have just thrown that out casually in the trash. When you get that micro cut, it really obliterates that information. And again, it's just that peace of mind. You're not going to shred every day. Most of us don't want to spend, 15, 20 minutes a day. But what I do is I get those credit card offers, or I get those pieces of paper, I stick them off to the side of the desk, and then after a few days, you know what, it takes me a minute or two, up to 12 pages at a time with this shredder, and all of that information, now it's gone. Now they're not going to piece it back together.
And I do appreciate that it's a 7-gallon size. If you've ever had a shredder before and maybe it was a smaller, you were having to empty that basket out between every 3 shreds. So this just makes it easy to keep going until they get the job done. And because it's a microcut, you may want to keep that as confetti. I've got a kid's birthday party on Saturday.
Well, a nice advantage of microcut as well. In addition to blasting it through so many more pieces, so again, up to 1,800 pieces in a single piece of paper, is the fact that when you get to smaller pieces, it doesn't take up as much spot in the bin as well. So we've been shredding throughout the entire presentation here. This is that 7-gallon drum. Of course, we made it nice and pretty with the pretty colors for you there, but that's also convenient from the standpoint of you won't have to dump this in the trash all that often, depending on how much shredding you do.
And think about it, if you have like, you might use this like in a guinea pig's cage or something, like their little hay. I mean, you might find uses for this.
You
but
can
it's
do that, sure.
Like I wouldn't say this, but when it's that confetti cut, you may find, if you're a crafter, something that you might use it for. This one is that Mac Daddy, though. It's got the bigger bin, it can handle more sheets at one time, and you're micro cutting, which means another added layer of protection.
Blasting it all through there. So, and there are so many things we don't think about that we just casually throw away. And it's just because it becomes easy. That's the main reason we don't throw a lot of this stuff away, is it becomes easy. But those credit card offers that you have, all those forms you fill out for the kids. I know this time of year, we're starting a new cycle with my kids as far as the athletic programs are going to be involved in. They're signing up for violin lessons. Well, I have to fill out on a piece of paper all of this data, all this information. Then where does it go when that piece of paper comes back home? Well, that doesn't protect your information. We like to think that it does. This does absolutely nothing. The thieves can easily put that information back together. With micro cutting, that's that peace of mind.
There's no putting it back together.
No, you're not putting that back together. Good luck with that jigsaw puzzle.
Did that one go with that 3? You don't know. You don't know what's next.
Good luck trying to get that back together.
Well, it's available today on 5 easy payments of $25.99 using a major credit card. Don't shred that credit card that you're making the purchase with.
No, not until it expires, you don't.
And then you have a choice of color as well. On the table, we have the black. And then down in front, we have it for you in red, green, copper, and also in silver. This is available today with reduced shipping and handling, by the way. So the shipping and handling now marked down to under $9. Every household should have a shredder. It doesn't mean that you have to have a busy home office to take and use a shredder. Like you said, just regular documents that come in all the time. And tax time's right around the corner.
Tax time is right around the corner, all those extra receipts and that type of thing. Again, I like to make the reference to computers. If you have a personal computer, you have antivirus on your computer, so the bad guys can't get in and see your personal information. This is the same type of theory, but with our hard lives. There are actually pieces of paper we have around the house. If you still hold on to those taxes from 1997, you don't have to hold on to those anymore. So you don't have to hold on to all that information and just wait for it to get placed out on the curb, someone to dig through your trash, which unfortunately is legal in a lot of townships in the United States. But anything that has your personal information whatsoever, blast right through it, get rid of it in a safe manner. This is the way to do it with a microcut shredder.
E230440 is your item number. Choose your color, and you'll be all ready for tax season right around the corner.
That sounds like fun, right? Tax season?
Woo! Wait, I'm going to show